I know I traditionally save the um like commentaries for my other channel, T-Fish Talks. It's kind of the whole point of the channel, right? It's T-Fish Talks. This is more gaming focused than my long form counterpart, I guess we'll call it. Not counterpart, it's me. It's my other channel. Anyways, enough rambling. Today I kind of want to talk about why people still play older CODs and honestly think that they're the superior game. And it's pretty simple, at least in my opinion. So I'm going to kind of talk about why I think that. Hopefully this guy dropped a gun. This isn't necessarily the gun I wanted, but it's the gun we got, so we're going to rock with it. Hey, got him, UAV. A little bit of lag on the server. I am not a sniper. I would like to make that painfully obvious. So, pretty much, the older CODs, in general, right, feel easier and simpler to jump back into. There's not as much that you feel like you might have missed because you took a week off or 2 weeks off, or a lot of the times people, you gotta understand, people are in school, even kids are, you know, they got finals and shit that they gotta worry about. That was a nice snipe, actually. Take it back, your boy might have to pop out his old montages off YouTube. Thank you, sir. Got shot in the back. So you were able to kind of come and go as you please. You didn't feel the need to... You might have missed a DLC map or so, or two. But you didn't feel the need like you were missing out on battle passes and new drops and all this other bullshit that made you feel behind in the game. Guns that were unlockable based off the battle pass. Or just like we had the Peacekeeper, that was a DLC weapon in Black Ops 2. You know, which is the game we're currently playing. So we had that back in Black Ops 2, but that was honestly about it. You didn't really have to worry about a new AR every month. You just had to worry about the SMG AR, whatever the fuck the Peacekeeper classifies as. The one time. And even then, they really only did it one time. There were so many complaints about the... Not that it wasn't a good gun, but the fact that it wasn't readily available to everybody that played the game. Because people... DLC is expensive, or it was. It still probably is. I don't know how DLC works with the Battle Pass and shit. I really don't play the new Call of Duties much. But that stuff isn't cheap, right? Like at 15, 20 bucks a pop, I believe. For... Whew! This is a cut commentary for the record. I am live playing the game. That stuff wasn't cheap for people. Like, I knew multiple people when we were growing up that had to wait for Christmas or what have you so they could... Hold on. He's above me. Had to wait for Christmas so they could use their Christmas money from their grandparents and their parents and maybe their brother, sister, or whatever. I fucked up all those shots. They would use Christmas money from multiple people to be able to buy the DLCs for the year. Or, honestly, there were people just waited to get the game till Christmas. Now, when the game came out in November... DLC 1's like a January thing. So you just got the game, now you're asking your parents for more of the game that you just got, and it's not gonna happen. Shit was expensive, and I didn't really even start... I wasn't really able to start getting DLC until I got my own job, which is fair, right? Like, I'm not complaining about that. Either way, I feel like we maybe spent too much time on this one point. Older CODs felt simpler and easier to jump into. I guess point number 2 kind of fell into that one. The game itself was less cluttered. Like, you just had your classes. The 10-point system was cool when it came out, and like the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was the first game to have it, I believe. But you know, your 10 points created class was neat, and that was about the extent of it. It didn't really feel super cluttered. Now you could have everything and the moon with your classes. Or at least it feels like there's so much shit that you could do to your class. You could have 5 attachments. You could have all the perks. You know, your different lethals and what is it? Tactical carries. And then kind of my point earlier was, or point number 3, which I guess I just went on a rant in the beginning of the video. FOMO, right? All this extra content, the battle passes. You didn't really have to worry about missing out on on battle passes or bundles or the seasonal grinds. Now we have seasons. I forgot all about that. You have season 1, 2, and 3 with the game, or 4, 5, 6. I think there's 6 or 7 seasons per game now. So you have all these seasons with the seasonal content. And if you miss out on season 1, you might not ever see that piece of content again. And that's what I'm talking about with unlocking these guns. You might not ever see the gun that was put out in season 1 ever again. I'm going to vote Plaza Hardpoint. I feel like that's going to be fun. Or could be fun. So you didn't have to feel like you were missing out. Like, there was no fear of missing out on the content. Back to the older games, they had this strong sense of identity and atmosphere. Like, if you went and played Modern Warfare 2, you knew you were going to get a bunch of snipers and some tryhards using the UMP or whatever, the SCAR, the ACR, and you were probably going to get called some kind of racial slur. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, that's what it was. Games like those, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, COD 4, World at War, they all had this very distinct feel and look and personality. And while the newer games kind of look better, they might have better graphics, they're not nearly as memorable as the older games. I have memories of Black Ops 2 and Ghosts, and Call of Duty Ghosts even, which looked horrible for the record. But I have memories of those that I was able to build, but I don't have any recall of anything past Cold War, probably, to be 100% honest with you. Cold War is maybe the last real Call of Duty that I have some kind of memory on, and that was doing a 2v2 tournament with my buddy. So the game itself didn't even have anything to do with it. It was more about the things that I did with my friends, and that's true for almost every Call of Duty. Oh my god, that was close. But I feel like it's more true. Like, I have memories of pubs on Black Ops 2, but I don't have memories of shit in the newer Call of Duties for that purpose. Other thing is, kind of falls in that memory, that nostalgia trip, is older maps. Like, and they keep trying to put them in to the new games, but I feel like the flow and the pace of the game when it was out kind of helps in area of the map conversation. Like, I have memories of being Raid because I have an MSMC or a Scar H, in this very current scenario. But I know that it came out in Cold War, and I know that it was out in other Call of Duties, and I know that I don't have any memories of those because there's no memories to have. Also, some of this shit is getting very convoluted, and they started toying around with this in Black Ops 3, where you had, the water aspect. And don't get me wrong, the water aspect is super cool. But when you start adding multiple extra lanes to it, it makes the games far more confusing. So the maps in these older Call of Duties were often easier to understand. You had better power positions, clearer flanks. Your 3-lane map was a real thing. Now, there were a lot of bad things, like older CODs still had broken weapons and shit like that. But not everything felt, I don't know, it just felt better in that regards. Like, there was still broken shit, but there was ways to get around it, and you knew about it. But now, what's meta is meta, and everybody is using it, and nobody cares that it's good or bad for the game as a whole. That is a lot of fucking people. I also just got Lightning Strike in a building. Progression felt a ton more natural. Like I said, you didn't have the seasonal stuff, so you didn't have to worry about your gun being out of season, which is such a weird fucking sentence to leave my mouth. You just leveled up, and like in this game, you had to unlock tokens. So if you wanted to keep a gun for your next prestige, your next run through, you simply had to use your prestige unlock token, and you could use it on the M8, MSMC, whatever tickled your fancy. And kind of the last big point too, and this falls in line with so many things, so many points that we've talked about today already. Certain parts, and I know they added non-SBMM, non-skill-based matchmaking game modes into Black Ops 7 at least. But that's a huge downer to play the game, because someone like me, I'm pushing 30. I am Unk. I don't have time to play 3, 4, 5 hours a day to compete with these kids that are doing this professionally. And truthfully, I'm probably not. But I can still get a 1.4, 1.5 KD just kind of chilling. in these newer Call, I think my last one was like 1.3. That's like the lowest Call KD I've had in probably 8 years. Maybe 21. Probably the lowest Call KD I've had in 10 plus years. Knowing I have to get on and try to fight to keep that every time I play the game ruins the experience for me, because I'm going against these guys. That 1.5 to 1.8 range is usually racked with a lot of people that, or at least in my experience, were in the amateur, like it used to be game battles back in the day. I have no idea what it's called now, but the amateur competition scene. The amount of people walking around with a 1.8 that are OBJ players for some unknown Call of Duty competitive team is a lot higher than you think it is. And that's for objective players. They got their boys with them. They got their slayers, their support cast, or whatever. I don't know what positions are anymore in competitive Call of Duty, but you get the idea. So it being a sweat fest is really discouraging to people that want to just play the game casually and be able to pick it up and play with friends every once in a while. Me and my buddy tried Black Ops 6, and we tried getting into ranked a little bit, but every game was, and him and I were kind of up for the challenge, I'll be honest with you. But another buddy of ours didn't want to play because he didn't want to sweat every game. He didn't want to have to try and be competitive like he was when we were 19. And I totally understood it. You know, I get it. It's difficult to want to do that. That's kind of my last big point on the whole new Call of Duties are fucking shit up for the old Call of Duty players. And listen, your base is what it is. Your fan base is these kids. So I get it. You got to keep it however it is. And I'm sure some old head that played Big Red 1 said the same shit about Black Ops 2 that I'm saying now about Black Ops 7. I'm sure that's the case. But honestly, I knew a bunch of people that were old-timey Call of Duty players that liked this stuff. That kept it going. You know what I mean? So I have a harder time accepting that one than I do accepting the fact that these new Call of Duties are just rough to be involved in. But I guess that's kind of my whole rant today. I kind of like doing cut comms. I don't want to take away from doing, you know, life commentaries on my channel and kind of dump them here in cut com form. I don't feel like doing that, but Call of Duty related, it works. This isn't life related at all. I am kind of on a streak right now. And by kinda, I mean I am, with 30 seconds left in the game. It's crazy work, bro. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of rant-ish video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. 6625. Let's get it. Peace out.